Have you ever wondered what the secret ingredient is behind some of the biggest names in tech, entertainment, and even space exploration? Well, it's a language that's pretty much everywhere, often just working quietly behind the scenes. Let's start with the company you've definitely heard of. Okay, take Google. Right from the very beginning, Python has been a core part of its DNA, helping build the massive systems that serve billions of us every single day. And then there's YouTube. They use Python to push out new features at, just incredible speeds. It's what keeps the world's biggest video platform humming along. What about the apps on your phone? Well, Instagram's entire backend, that's the engine running everything you don't see, is built on Python. They use this really powerful framework called Django, which is basically a toolkit for building websites, and it helps them manage billions of photos and videos. But it's not just for the web. NASA uses Python for all sorts of things, from system integration to building their next-gen engineering environment. Yep, it's literally rocket science. And then you've got Reddit, the front page of the internet. They were so all in on Python that way back in 2005, the founders completely rewrote the site from its original language, Common Lisp, right into Python. That's a huge commitment. So wait a second. We've got a search engine, a video platform, a social network, a space agency, and a giant online community. What on earth could possibly tie all of these together? The answer, of course, is Python. It's this incredibly versatile programming language that's the engine for all these different applications. In fact, one of its main superpowers is that it's known as a glue language. So what's a glue language? Think of it like the ultimate connector. Python is just designed to play nicely with other languages and systems. It lets developers tie together all these different pieces of software that weren't even meant to talk to each other. It's kind of like a universal adapter for the digital world. So, why Python? Why did it get so ridiculously popular? Well, the answer really goes back to its core philosophy, a set of guiding principles known as the Zen of Python. At the very heart of this whole philosophy is one simple idea. Simple is better than complex. This basically encourages developers to find the most straightforward solution to a problem and to avoid writing super clever code that might look impressive but is impossible for anyone else or even yourself 6 months from now to figure out. And that leads right into the second key idea. Readability counts. Python code is meant to be clean, uncluttered, and almost as easy to read as plain English. I mean, think about it. Developers spend way more time reading code than actually writing it, so making it easy to understand is a huge deal. Now, this whole philosophy wasn't an accident. It came straight from its creator, Guido van Rossum. He started the project back in the late 80s with these exact principles in mind. And here's a fun piece of trivia that totally captures the language's vibe. He named it Python, not after the snake, but after Monty Python's Flying Circus. Okay, so let's see what this philosophy actually looks like. What is it that makes a block of Python code look so different and easy to read? So here it is, the most obvious visual feature of Python. You know how most programming languages have this jungle of curly braces and semicolons all over the place? Python just gets rid of them. Instead, it uses simple indentation. That's it. This one rule forces everybody to write code that's visually clean, so you can tell the structure of a program just by looking at it. Just look at this line of code for a second. Seriously, you don't need to be a programmer to make a pretty good guess at what it's doing. It's taking a list of fruits and making a new list with all their names in uppercase. It reads just like an English sentence. That is the power of Python's design. But, a simple, readable core is really only half the story. Python's real superpower, its secret weapon, comes from its absolutely enormous ecosystem of third-party packages and libraries. This is where it goes from just a neat language to a truly world-changing tool. So, you want to build a website? There are entire toolkits for that, called frameworks like Django and Flask, that give developers everything they need right out of the box. This is the same tech we were talking about earlier that powers massive sites like Instagram and Reddit. But here, this is where Python absolutely dominates today. Its simple syntax, combined with these super powerful libraries like NumPy and Pandas, has made it the undisputed king of data science. It lets scientists and analysts crunch and visualize huge amounts of data without needing a formal computer science degree to do it. And that, of course, leads us straight into AI. Python is, without a doubt, the lingua franca of artificial intelligence and machine learning. All the most groundbreaking stuff happening today, from large language models to self-driving cars, it's being built with tools like TensorFlow and PyTorch in Python.
And now for something you probably didn't expect: gaming. Yeah, while it's not really known as a primary game engine, Python is used all over the place for scripting and tooling in huge titles like The Sims 4 and World of Tanks. And it powers tons of indie games built with frameworks like Pygame.
So if we really boil it all down, Python's appeal comes from this incredible 1-2 punch. On one hand, it's simple enough for a total beginner to pick up as their very first language, and on the other, it's powerful and flexible enough to build literally anything you can imagine. From automating some boring task on your computer all the way to developing the next big breakthrough in artificial intelligence, Python gives you the tools. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?